from the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio, this is Marquette Now.
Good evening, I'm Kaylee Starrell.
And I'm Rashad Alexander. Welcome to Marquette Now.
Coming up, the men's basketball team hires a new head coach.
The long-term effects of COVID-19 are researched on campus.
Marquette student nurses play a part in vaccine rollout.
And later, how dancing can raise money for Children's Hospital.
All that and more, starting right now. Shaka Smart is the new men's basketball head coach. Smart will be replacing former head coach Steve Wojciechowski. Before coming to Marquette, he spent 6 seasons at the University of Texas at Austin that included a Big 12 Conference championship.
Marquette Wire sports producer John Luzzi is live outside the Al McGuire Center.
He's going to tell us more about Coach Smart's future plans for the Marquette men's basketball team. John?
That's right. Monday afternoon, a new chapter of Marquette men's basketball began here at the Al McGuire Center. Shaka Smart will be the program's 18th head coach and the first ever African-American head coach in its history. The Madison, Wisconsin native mentioned his homecoming is phenomenal, but the main reason that he is here is because of Marquette. As for the key values that he will prioritize and build the program around, there are 3: relationship, growth, and victory. The long-term goal for Smart is to put a billboard, a banner up in the rafters at Pfizer Forum, which ultimately includes one that has only been raised once in program history, a national championship, a championship won by a head coach that he grew up with.
I was born in 1977, and one of the things I remember about a kid growing up watching basketball was I remember listening to Al McGuire as a broadcaster and getting to know his personality through listening to him do games. As I got more and more into the sport, into coaching, I learned about what he did here.
Reporting outside the Al McGuire Center, John Liuzzi, Marquette Wire News. Back to you both in the studio.
Sophomore guard Symir Torrance announced earlier today that he will be transferring to Syracuse University. Other transfers include senior guard Kobe McEwen and senior forward Jamal Kane, who are both in the graduate student transfer portal.
Discrimination against Asians and Asian Americans has always been an issue. However, the racist responses during the COVID-19 pandemic have only gotten worse. As Marquette Now's Skylar Chun reports, there is one organization at Marquette working to shed light on these concerns.
Hey guys.
As a tour guide at Marquette University, Addis Tang knows the importance of feeling welcomed on a college campus.
When I got to visit, everybody, just the students were really nice. Just little things like even holding the door for me when we were walking through like the AMU or something. I just really appreciate things like that.
That's why he was willing to attend a college 4,227 miles from home.
I think everyone here is very accepting and open and welcomes you with open arms. So I think it's a great experience to have here at Marquette.
However, being an Asian American has its hardships, regardless of where you are from.
We're very much told to kind of process on our own and not share emotions, or else these signs of sadness or anger is a sign of weakness. So it almost feels like there's not a space to speak about it within your own community.
A 2020 study from the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism found that anti-Asian hate crimes in the United States have risen by nearly 150% within the past year. We Are South is an organization at Marquette that aims to spread awareness on various mental health issues and promote inclusion in the South Asian community.
I created out of my own battle with mental health, and I saw what it's like to struggle with a mental health challenge and also what it's like to face stigma. And we want to inspire power and for people to feel accepted and understood by all and to stand in solidarity as one. And we are open to people of all backgrounds.
I just hope one day we're all more accepting, welcoming towards each other, and we put aside our differences and we all unite under a common cause.
I'm Skylar Chun, Marquette Wire News.
Protests have been ongoing across the country and on campus this past year. Some of those protests include historical figures and how they're viewed. In Chicago, activists are reevaluating the legacy of Father Marquette, Marquette's namesake. Marquette Now's Jaffin Raquant has the story.
Ask around and you'll realize most Marquette students aren't too familiar with the university's namesake.
I know nothing about Father Marquette.
Absolutely I don't know anything. Nothing.
I don't know much of anything. I think he's the dude outside, like they have statues and stuff about him, you know, with like the hat. That's about it.
This is the Father Marquette statue behind Rayner Memorial Library. Marquette's become an increasingly controversial figure over the past few years. Some view him as a missionary who had a profoundly positive influence, while others view him as a colonizer. Recently, the Chicago Monuments Project identified 4 works to honor the Jesuit priest and Midwestern explorer as potentially needing change.
The Chicago Monuments Project is essentially a public evaluation of the artwork in public space in the city of Chicago.
Marquette's commemoration of its namesake has been controversial on campus as well. Last summer, students started a petition to change the university's seal.
And so this is a larger story about historical erasure, the trauma that has played out Indigenous communities still to the present over the course of centuries and their relationships with the Catholic Church.
As memorials and monuments to historical figures are reviewed, those involved hope they can make things right.
This conversation is really part and parcel to that bigger conversation that's a policy directive. So what we are doing will lead to policy.
I'm Jaffin Roquant, Marquette Wire News.
Construction is happening near Marquette's campus. I-43 and overhead bridges structures between Wisconsin Avenue and Walnut Street will receive maintenance. The Kilbourne tunnels northeast of campus will be closed for about 4 months. As you're driving around campus, motorists should use 6th Street and Fond du Lac Avenue to get around.
1 year, one virus, and hundreds of millions of people that have been affected in some way.
There are many unanswered questions, though, one of them being the long-term effects of contracting the coronavirus. Marquette Now's Andrew Amuzu explains how the university is planning to find answers.
Nice, keep that kid inside.
It's time to put the pedal to the metal. Since last April, Marquette University COVID-19 Research Initiative has cracked down on all things coronavirus. But now that the vaccine is here, Research Lab Manager Michael Heischer says the need to initiate tests on the long-term effects of the virus is urgent.
We're kind of time-bound now, where we want to study as many people as we can, because once everybody gets vaccinated, we won't see as many infections, obviously. And so that's really the impetus to do as much testing as we can this summer.
1 year later, the COVID-19 pandemic is still raging on, but it is in this laboratory where Marquette aims to answer the many questions about the coronavirus long-term effects.
This next one.
Director of the Athletic and Human Performance Research Center, Dr. Sandra Hunter, listed the many tests that are used to help kickstart their research in the lab.
Nice job.
But they include smell and taste, fatigue levels, muscle fatigue. We measure oxygen consumption and someone's ability to consume oxygen while they're exercising. We look at heart rate and heart function. We test lung function, testing perception of pain and sensitivity to pain.
And as the word spreads, study coordinator Lauren Opolinski explained how people are signing up themselves and their families to take part in the study on campus.
This is something that we're doing at Marquette that's really cutting edge, and there's not a lot of other things going on like this. And excitement that people have to be a part of this has been really, really cool and really, really well received in the community.
Marquette, a mid-sized school aiming to answer big-time questions. Reporting from the Athletic and Human Performance Research Center, I'm Andrew Muzu, Marquette Wire News.
Coming up, we will see how some Marquette student nurses are helping distribute the vaccine on campus.
And later, take a look at how dancing helped raise some money for a good cause. Marquette Now will be right back.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Welcome back to Marquette Now. I'm Rashad Alexander.
And I'm Kaylee Starrell.
The Marquette University Medical Clinic has been a coronavirus vaccine distribution site since January. As more people become eligible to get the vaccine, more vaccine administrators join the medical clinic staff.
Marquette Now's reporter John Leuzzi takes us to the clinic to learn more about how the vaccine is being distributed on campus.
A student here? Yes. Nice. What do you study? A grad student?
Cura personalis, a common Jesuit phrase that means care of the whole person. And at the Alumni Memorial Union, there is one group staying true to that phrase.
All of us have been looking for a way to be a part of the solution and for a way to take action related to the pandemic, and so this is an incredible way to do that.
Students like Maddie McMillan have volunteered their free time to help out with this unprecedented event since January.
Definitely not an opportunity that I ever thought that I would get to have a part in, so being here is really cool.
These nursing students feel a responsibility to be a part of the fight to make a mark in lowering the spread of the coronavirus.
Nursing student during a pandemic is a very weird and odd spot for us. We have definitely built resilience through this program being a part of a pandemic, and I think it's very beneficial that we're helping and doing as much as we can.
At the medical clinic, students rotate through 5 different stations, which Qatar Sim said is valuable.
So I love that they're getting to see the full picture all the way through. Because really there isn't a single piece that isn't vitally important to the vaccine clinic running smoothly.
Linda Connor, coordinator of the coronavirus vaccine clinic, said the involvement of students administering the vaccine is as historical as those helping fight the flu pandemic in 1918.
And for them to be able to tell their kids, their family, I was part of that is incredible. It's historical in my view.
At the Alumni Memorial Union, I'm John Leuzzi, Marquette Wire News.
An anonymous Marquette alum has donated a $1 million gift to the university's Neuro Recovery Clinic. This donation will help provide the clinic with additional resources for patients with neural disorders. These disorders include spinal cord and brain injuries, Parkinson's, and multiple sclerosis.
While collegiate sports continue their seasons, one level of sports hasn't been able to meet. Club sports have been at a halt since last March. Some student athletes are finding different ways to practice and to stay connected with the team.
It's been a little hard. Everyone's kind of a little sad. It's been hard to find a good practice space and workout space that accommodates for a full team of 20.
And while the athletes take Norris Park as a place to practice, Scott Andreg sees how club sports has changed.
A lot of them are doing stuff on their own. They can't really do nothing as a club. But I know, a couple of them will maybe do something with a friend at Norris Park. But for the most part, not doing much, which is unfortunate.
Marquette stands by the motto, "Be the difference." One student-led event on campus does just that as they work towards helping children achieving a better future. As Marquette Now's Molly Gretzlock reports, Marquette community members, sororities, and fraternities are doing their part to contribute.
Games, dancing, and fundraising all are a part of Dance Marathon, an event to let kids be kids. The funds raised go directly to Wisconsin Children's Hospital. One of the main donation receivers are Children Life Specialists.
And the Child Life Specialists, they use different distraction items or other things that make the kids feel like they can play. And it brings a little bit of childhood into the hospital, and it feels like they're not stuck in a hospital.
Co-president Grace Kopp has a special connection with the children's hospitals.
But my older sister has cerebral palsy, so it's a disability that has physical deficits, but also cognitive deficits. And she's been treated at Children's Hospital, so I kind of grew up with that experience, and I knew that I wanted to come to Marquette and find a way to be able to get back to Children's Hospital.
Maggie Ballman is chair of family relations, which focuses directly on connecting with the children.
So on this wall we have a few pictures of some of our champ kids, and one in particular, his name is Evan, and he has been at our event before, and who actually, they'll be tuning into our event this weekend as well. But it's just so awesome to see the love that these kids have and how excited they are to come and hang out with us and how excited we are.
The program has high hopes for the impact that they can make, with a fundraising goal of $60,000. Dancing, both good and bad, helps support a great cause and even greater kids. After all, at Dance Marathon, the motto is
Cool. FTK stands for the kids.
For Marquette Wire News, Molly Gretzlock.
I don't know about you, Kaylee, but this semester is flying by.
Rashad, I could not agree more, because class enrollment is already around the corner.
Fall registration for 2021 begins April 19th. Appointments can be found on Marquette's Checkmark website.
Students can also still register for summer classes as well. Marquette is expanding on the grid with an online master's program. The university is partnered with Everspring, a company that provides technology solutions and services in higher education. The partnership will now include the Master's of Science in Computer Programming degree. Some students in the computer science program feel encouraged by this as they look into their graduate careers.
I'm currently accepted into the advanced degree program at Marquette for the master's program in cybersecurity. So, assuming everything goes right, hearing that Marquette has put this forward and that they're giving the master's kind of the credit that it deserves is really kind of motivational for me as a student, especially going into the field.
Joining us now is Sarah Richardson with our look at the weather. So Sarah, what are we going to look into as we move into April tomorrow?
Well, as they say, April showers bring May flowers, but it's not looking like that just yet. Right now it is 38 degrees, and yes, it is a little chilly, but it is not cloudy or rainy even. Right now it's actually partly cloudy, and humidity is at 40%, precipitation is at 0. State overnight low, Superior will be at 18 degrees. Monaco will be at 16 degrees, Eau Claire at 18, and all the way down to Milwaukee it'll be 24 degrees. State tomorrow highs, Superior will be at 42, Monaco will be at 40, Eau Claire will be at 43, and Milwaukee will be a little chilly at 38 degrees. Tonight it is partly cloudy, low of 24, humidity at 42%, precipitation at 0%. Looking at tomorrow, it will be pretty sunny, high of 38, humidity at 40%, precipitation at 0%, and winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now looking at our extended forecast, look, we don't have any April showers just yet. On Friday it'll be sunny, 50 degrees, low of 40. Saturday partly cloudy, 64 degrees for a high, 42 for low. Easter Sunday it'll be partly cloudy again, high of 56, low of 47. And all the way to Tuesday, partly cloudy once again, high of 67 and a low of 52. That's all I have for weather, but stay with us because Ava Maris will be right back with sports.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Welcome back. I'm Ava Maris with your Marquette Now Sports Report. We're starting our sports segment with breaking news. Marquette women's basketball redshirt senior forward Lauren Van Clunen will be returning for her 6th year. She made the announcement moments ago on her Twitter account. She averaged 2 points and 5.8 rebounds per game this season. Visit the Marquette Wire website for more. Shaka Smart has been hired as the new Marquette men's basketball coach. In a press conference from Monday, Smart discussed the future of the Golden Eagles.
What goes into winning is, again, being connected around a common goal, having the willingness to lose yourself in the present. We live in such a world that can pull you into the past or the future. My goal is to get these guys to be so locked in on the present moment when they get to step out there on the floor, because it is a very precious time.
Now shifting to women's basketball, the NCAA tournament looks much different this year due to the pandemic. Chloe Murata shows what the players have been doing to adjust to the pandemic and how the tournament has been made possible through COVID-19.
The Marquette women's basketball team is back in the big dance for the 4th straight year. But this year, even if you make the tournament, no game is guaranteed. If a player tests positive for COVID, the entire team is at risk of forfeiting the game.
It's just your test results. That way you have them with you.
So, all the teams have to follow strict guidelines, which require a 2-day quarantine and daily testing.
Testing immediately before we even check into the hotel just to make sure that we're clear, and then staying in our hotel rooms until we're clear to test the next day.
According to the Chicago Tribune, the NCAA has run 8,015 tests with only 1 confirmed positive. This would not be possible without the frontline workers.
First, I did the testing, then I worked at the front to intake, do the temperatures coming in, and now I'm here to make sure that y'all come out in a timely manner.
But the safety protocols don't stop there. Every student athlete wears a Connexon, which is a device that detects contact tracing for COVID-19.
If you're too close to someone, less than 6 feet, the little blinker will flash red, and it will continue flashing red until you move away in an appropriate distance.
Marquette has prepared for this all season.
It's been pretty consistent of what rules we have to follow, even our rules at Marquette.
The Golden Eagles say anything is worth it to make dreams come true. In San Antonio, I'm Chloe Murata, Marquette Wire News.
Looking over at men's soccer, redshirt sophomore defender Alex Merzberger has been named Big East Defense Player of the Week, thanks to his overtime goal against DePaul last Wednesday. His teammate junior Lucas Suneson also had an overtime goal against Butler last Saturday. The Golden Eagles have clinched a spot in the Midwest Division of the Big East Tournament beginning April 14th. The Golden Eagles have an overall record of 8-1-1 and 5-1-1 in the Big East. The number 19 Golden Eagles will conclude the regular season next Saturday at noon against the Xavier Musketeers. Now switching over to volleyball, the number 2 ranked Golden Eagles will face the number 1 ranked St. John's Red Storm this Friday at the Big East semifinals. This will be Marquette's first match since March 6th due to a COVID-related pause. Marquette is 9-3 overall and 4-2 in the Big East. Now that's it for sports, but don't go anywhere. Marquette Now will be right back with our Down to the Wire segment.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Welcome back. I'm Kaylee Starl.
And I'm Rashad Alexander.
Marquette Television General Manager Amy Galashewski joins us now for tonight's edition of Down to the Wire.
She's with Executive News Editor Ben Wells to talk about Marquette's campus climate study.
Thank you, Rashad and Kaylee. And Ben, welcome on tonight. This is my first time hosting Down on the Wire, and I'm glad to be here with you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here too. It's so fun to be on the opposite sides of the chair for once.
Yes, today we are talking about the campus climate studies. So many people may not know what this is. So Ben, could you explain it a little more for us?
Yeah, sure. So the campus climate study was initially brought up at the most recent University Academic Senate meeting. And basically it is a study that they do every 5 years, so that way there's a new group that is taking the study every single time, sort of to get a feel of what is it like on Marquette's campus. Not really sort of like from a quantitative perspective, but a qualitative perspective. So you get to see a bunch of different numbers and data about how students really feel about their experience at Marquette.
Yeah, and Ben, I actually received an email recently explaining some of the takeaways, but would you be able to summarize it for our audience?
Yeah, there were a bunch of really interesting takeaways. You can find a more concise list on Marquette Today's website. But there was definitely one thing that stood out to me, and that is that a majority of, or not a majority I shouldn't say, but a large percentage of students, undergrad and graduate, faculty and staff, all considered seriously leaving Marquette at one point or another during their time here, which I thought was very, very interesting, yes.
What other data in there was interesting to you, and what could you pull from?
Yeah, sure. So if you actually, there's a dashboard for the whole entire thing. And there's a bunch of really interesting things, stuff that I didn't initially really think of. But one thing, or a couple of things that actually stood out is that they have, real numbers and data about really important topics on campus, such as have you experienced unwanted sexual contact at Marquette? How has alcohol and drugs affected your experience here at Marquette? Religion. It's a whole bunch of
really everything.
Really everything. Yeah, exactly like you said it.
Awesome. And what will make, or how would this survey make our reporting here at the Marquette Wire easier?
Yeah, so as news exec, personally, I am so excited about this survey. We are able to find numbers, and we can really dive deep into this sort of investigative part of our reporting that I feel like that we usually don't get into because we don't really have stuff like this. But now with an up-to-date campus climate survey, instead of referring back to ones from 2015, we get to see some real changes. And it's definitely something that we're looking into, not only just now, but for future stories as well. I'm super excited about it.
And Ben, this is obviously really important for us as journalists, but how is it important to Marquette's campus?
Absolutely. Like you said, it is important to us as journalists, but if I had to say why it's important to the campus as a whole, we really have to understand that these campus climate surveys are put out to ensure that Marquette is making sure that their plans coincide with what students and faculty and other members of the Marquette community really need. So if they see some sort of discrepancy or change from the last 5 years, they know, here's what we have to change, here's what we need to do to make sure that this effect, if negative, doesn't come back, and here is how we're going to make the overall Marquette experience better.
Ben, great insights as always. Make sure to keep up with our coverage for everything on the Marquette Wire. But that's all the time that we have for tonight. Ben, thanks for joining us. Back to you in the studio.
That's our report for tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rashad Alexander.
And I'm Kaylee Starrell. Remember to check marquettewire.org for all the latest campus news. Good night, Marquette.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure love.
love.